In the summer of 2018, I was living in a small apartment complex in a quiet town in the Midwest. It was one of those places where everyone knew each other by name, and we all felt relatively safe. My apartment was on the 3rd floor, and there was no elevator, just an enclosed stairwell that echoed with every step. During the day, the place felt warm and welcoming, but at night, the stairwell gave off an entirely different vibe, cold, uninviting, and eerily silent. One night, I came home late from work. It was around PM, and the building was unusually quiet. As I climbed the stairs, I noticed something strange. On the 2nd floor landing, a man was sitting on the steps, hunched over. His head was down, and he was wearing a hooded sweatshirt that obscured most of his face. At first, I thought he was a neighbor, maybe drunk or tired. But as I got closer, I realized I'd never seen him before. "Hey, you okay?" I asked hesitantly. He didn't respond. He didn't even move. His breathing was shallow, almost wheezy, and it sent a chill down my spine. I took a step back, deciding it was better not to engage further. I quickly walked up to my floor, unlocked my door, and went inside. But something about the encounter stuck with me. Who was he, and why was he just sitting there in the dark? About an hour later, as I was getting ready for bed, I heard footsteps in the stairwell. They were slow, deliberate, and they stopped right outside my door. My heart started racing. I tiptoed to the peephole and looked out. It was the man. He was standing there, his face still obscured by his hood. He wasn't knocking or trying to open the door. He was just standing there, perfectly still. I backed away, grabbed my phone, and called the building manager. He lived on site, so I figured he could handle it. While I was on the phone, the footsteps started again, moving down the hall. When the manager arrived, the man was gone. We checked the stairwell and all the hallways, but there was no sign of him. Over the next few days, I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Every time I used the stairwell, I half expected to see him sitting there again. A few nights later, I came home late again, and as I reached the 2nd floor, I froze. There he was, sitting in the exact same spot. This time, I didn't say anything. I turned around and went back down the stairs, deciding to take the back entrance instead. As I walked away, I'd hear the sound of footsteps behind me. I glanced back and saw him slowly descending the stairs. My walk turned into a sprint, and I didn't stop until I was inside my apartment. The door locked behind me. The next morning, I reported the incidents to the police. They took my statement and said they'd patrol the area, but there wasn't much they could do unless he was caught trespassing. I also found out from my neighbors that no one else had seen him, which only made the whole situation feel more unsettling. A week later, I was woken up around AM by a loud banging on my door. My heart leapt into my throat as I grabbed my phone and tiptoed to the peephole. It was him. He was slamming his fists against the door, muttering something I couldn't understand. I called the police immediately, and within minutes, I heard sirens approaching. The banging stopped, and I heard him run down the stairs. When the police arrived, they searched the building and the surrounding area, but didn't find him. They advised me to stay somewhere else for a while, so I packed a bag and stayed with a friend. A few days later, the building manager called me with an update. They'd found a makeshift bed and some belongings in the basement, a clear sign that someone had been squatting there. I moved out a month later. To this day, I don't know who that man was or what his intentions were, but I'll never forget the sound of his footsteps echoing in that stairwell, or the way he stood outside my door, as if he was waiting for something or someone.